Derek here with another vlog for Grimdark, Ohio, the Deep Between. And today I think I'm going to do some more sketching. Originally planned to paint a model that was kind of running up on the end of time doing that. So I'm going to have to break that up over a couple videos or just wait and compile it and do it on a later day. So one of the things that I'm working on right now is doing some designs for what some of the alternate weapons for the Vase and Iterrax will be. There's one design I have particularly in mind that I think is kind of cool. I've actually sketched it a little bit once already. Didn't have like the whole idea done and out. Just kind of a rough idea, and kind of explore that a little more today. But this is for the Iterrax drone. So right now there is the hand belcher and the claw that it has, and one of the things that I knew that I want to do for this model is to have kind of a really strong, aggressive, mid-range weapon option, like a shotgun, or a slightly longer range than just the hand belcher provides, but also still being not horribly long range, just because that's not really what they're all about. So I kind of came up with this idea of like this pin cushion shotgun looking thing where it has like, the barbs that come out, and then it just like fires them in like this volley. So that's something I played with a little bit already. So I'm just kind of still exploring, that design, trying to see if that's really where I want to go with it, or if I want to do something that's maybe like a little longer range, longer reaching for the weapon. I kind of like the idea of this, like, what were those from Unreal back in the day? Almost like a flak cannon, almost. I think that was the shotgun looking gun in those, where it would have like a shotgun blast, and then there was like a stronger pellet that it would shoot as well. So yeah, that's kind of something that I'm playing around with right now. And with the Iterrax, they're supposed to have, all their weapons are like living things, living creatures that they have. So it has to be a creature itself. That's just part of, the design requirement. But I was thinking about, it having kind of similar to that belcher, the weird, like, little fin leg looking thing, and, the hand grabbing it from one side underneath, and then the other arm being similar to the claw, where it kind of builds out into the forearm, and through the bicep, and then back up to like the shoulder of the creature. So that's something I'm kind of experimenting with, trying to find the right, kind of positioning, and, does that make sense, or should it be something that, this creature holds with two hands, or what? So, just playing around with different shapes, ideas here. I'm trying to figure out what kind of makes sense. It's one of the fun things about working on this project is, I've had some really great help from Sam and Claudio. There's been a few times that they've kind of leaned in and was like, hey, I'm going to make a change. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully it's no bother. Tell me, if you want us to redo it, whatever have you. And there was one in particular that Claudio had done, and it was for the drones. The drones little hand belcher. He did alter that slightly, but I really did like what he had done with it. So that's kind of the way it stayed. It was a little. I'm trying to remember now. I want to say that it had multiple legs, and he had kind of put this fin thing on it, which I really liked, and I like it enough that I'm gonna kind of continue on that design and push through into this version of the drone. Yeah, and then one of the things about the drones, you see like these little like eyes that are kind of up and around the neck, and the headpiece. The idea originally, I could probably dig it out here in a sec, for what they're supposed to look like. But it was very much a mockery or a mimicry of the Breachers. With Iterrax, the name Iterrax, Iteration, they were kind of like mimics almost, that would copy, the Breachers or different things that they saw in the Deep Between. And that's kind of where that originally came from, originally started. And so originally it was very much supposed to look like the Breacher's suit, kind of have this almost helmet looking, kind of style to it, design. And the more I played with it, the more I came up with kind of just this weird eye eldritch look to them. And it just kind of stuck, and didn't really look back once the design took. So yeah, that's just kind of some of the little bit of, I guess, the history of how these creatures got their look. Yeah, I think that this is a style, a design that to me makes sense. I think it would be a really cool thing, to kind of have this like living shotgun looking thing, and then of course the eyes being such a big part of the design. Another thing that I was kind of playing around with was almost like this more of like a spitting gun, where it kind of had this this fat stomach section, and then also it's going to be living, kind of almost looks like a seahorse here, and have all these like kind of gnarly looking teeth. So not too different than the hand belcher, but definitely a different class in terms of like the size and the general, what have you of it. It maybe do some of those like exposed spines that I have on some of the designs for the different Iterrax, instead of just the carapace pieces. Maybe give it, like I said, some set of eyes there. Maybe even like another one, like just a whole bunch of eyes on the front, like whatever that is, 5 eyes or whatever have you. And then the same kind of thing, the hand would probably hold it maybe somewhere here, like up around the mouth, and then the arm kind of going down and into it and connecting, or even just coming up and underneath and holding it, kind of from like somewhere in here. Just playing around with different things. I'm not sure which it'll be, what'll stick. I'm almost certain that this is kind of the what you'll see when the model finally gets done. And then another thing is like, having the different loadouts or the different looks of them. So, there's the general, get the idea of like what the pose is currently for these guys. Something like this, and he's a little bit hunched, and here's the eye. I'm thinking about doing one that's just melee focused, where he's got like the cool claw arm, like the tube coming off, and just having him have two sets of those, where they like this, they kind of connect to like that back piece that comes down and then comes down to the bottom and branches out. But just having, two sets of claws. So I think that would be something that would be really cool. Just kind of doing that for a design, like a very melee focused one. And then I know with the grub, even though this was really, I was kind of starting off talking about wanting to work on the design for this. One of the things for the grub, since that's kind of been one of the most popular things so far, is going to be like these really gnarly tentacle arms that come down. So instead of like the weird hand belchers where they've got the mouths and like the stomach here and it like spitting that like bile, it'll be something more like this, where he's got these like just really gross long appendages, along with that kind of that slug body, and then those little pieces of like cobbled together carapace on his back, but just this really long, kind of gnarly, tentacle arms that like lash out. And well, it's not like a ranged option, it's more of a melee option. Probably have reach where it can extend a little further out, and it's like a lot of things, play with the design. I don't know if I'll do like spiky tentacle kind of feel to it. I don't really think that the whole suction cup deep sea creature thing fits. So just like these really just mean barbed, I think that's kind of a cool way to go about it for them. So just some really rough sketches, just playing with some shapes, playing with some design, trying to find what makes sense with these models, with this design. I got those weird toe looking legs, their little centipede snail bodies. So yeah, just kind of again said, do a vlog a day. For me, I've been enjoying this. It's something to kind of keep me engaged, looking at the YouTube and seeing what's taking, what's not, what people are interested in, what people aren't interested in, seeing what videos are getting more views or getting more attention, at different speeds. So all that's kind of been really pretty good information for me. But yeah, just getting in and doing a little bit of design work. So yeah, you guys are out there watching, and anybody's got an opinion, what what way this should go, or kind of what seems like it's a cool idea, what's speaking to you from the other side of this. Let me know. And yeah, definitely elaborate on it. Just throw some pen down on this real quick, since it's kind of the main design style that I was kind of playing around with. Just to show it off a little better. I'm not so sure how well these recordings really show up for some of this until after the fact. So just having that contrast with the ink pen, I think, will kind of help bring some of this to life a little better, and really kind of drive home that design. But yeah, I think this kind of cool barb shotgun looking thing, I think this is the way I'm going to go with it. These will likely be done late in the year or through Kickstarter if they're done sooner rather than later. Still trying to figure out all that, what makes sense for the business, for the company at the early stages. If a continuation with like the monthly releases on My Mini Factory makes sense, or if it's going to make more sense to just do an occasional, maybe semi-annually or quarterly Kickstarter that's just big enough to do like, hey, this is the next couple models, this is what's on the horizon, and just kind of fund as we go through that route until things pick up enough steam that everything's kind of taken care of itself. But in this early stage, it's kind of just figuring things out, figuring out what resonates with people, figuring out what makes sense for the business. But yeah, I think the Iterrax are really strange and different, and just kind of a cool eldritch horror faction. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing kind of how this evolves into some kind of cool new unit. So till tomorrow.